We're pleased today to be able to report a record adjusted profit for the quarter of 271 million, and contributing to that, of course, as you say, is 12 billion of net inflows, which I think is demonstrating our ability to continually attract client inflows across all of our asset classes. So where is it coming from? Passive is performing very strongly. The ETF business in Europe, again, 6.6 billion of inflows that we've seen in Q3, and we've been able to continue to have a #2 ranking in net inflows in passive in Europe. So I think that demonstrates the momentum that we see in that growth strategy that we are pursuing. In addition to that, in our alternatives business, again, we've seen another quarter of inflows in alternatives, liquid real assets performing particularly strongly, and also illiquid strategies, but liquid strategies this quarter is the one that's performing most strongly. And across the active asset classes, inflows across all of our asset classes, slightly down in equity, but multi-asset, fixed income, SQI, again, all attracting inflows. And between institutional and retail is a bit more stronger, in fact more strong this quarter than we've seen from institutional channels.
So essentially people want to hold cash, and the institutionals are still looking at it a bit more carefully going forward, as the markets are not easy to predict?
Yes, we've seen very strong market performance throughout the year, of course, but in September that petered out a little bit. But despite that, I think we've seen throughout the quarter fairly even inflows in the months of Q3. So despite that slight volatility that we've seen in the equity markets, continued client interest and a need, of course, to deliver returns and to deliver strong investment performance.
Let's talk about ESG, because obviously your shares did tank on that report that you have overstated the accounts of your ESG-related securities tremendously, and the SEC is looking into it. BaFin has started investigations. So what's your response, and where do we stand?
Well, firstly, on the allegations, I have to say, of course, that we reject those, and I think we've been quite clear and vocal in that rejection. If I look at how our clients are responding in the third quarter, of the 12 billion of net inflows that we've seen, 5 billion of those inflows are coming from ESG funds, and that compares to 4 billion that we saw in Q2 and 4 billion in Q1. So I think from a client perspective, we see that the trust and the interest in the funds that we are offering continues to be there. And in fact, client interest in general in sustainability continues to grow in the market, in the industry, and indeed for us. So ESG is absolutely a critical success factor. We need to be able to deliver the right solutions for our clients, and we're seeing very positive returns in Q3.